Pride. It's your boy Amari back again with another reaction video. Today we are getting into another Blackpink information guide video. I reacted to one of these like last week, but it wasn't great. And everyone in the comment section was recommending that I do another one. Specifically, a lot of people said that I should do the one that I'm doing today. So that's what we're doing today. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. Hopefully this is interesting and informative to you, or at the very least you find me learning about them interesting. So we are going to get into this and I'll be seeing all of you guys here on the other side.
.34 music show win.
That was really cool. That orchestral version of doo 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 doo. That's how I have to say the name of the song every single time. That was amazing. Like that was really good. And also the production quality on this is already really high. They took us through, I guess, like all of their different eras. I recognized the name of some of those songs. Yeah, expecting this video to be great. Let's go.
34 music show wins, the most viewed YouTube video ever in the first 24 hours. First K-pop group to hit 1 billion views, the most listened to female K-pop artist on Spotify, the most successful K-pop girl group concert of all time, the best charting K-pop girl group of all time, the most popular K-pop girl group of all time. And their name is
Blackpink.
걸그룹 블랙핑크.
Blackpink.
K-pop group na Blackpink.
Blackpink. Blackpink. Blackpink.
Blackpink is a name that's known all over the world. They are the hottest group in K-pop right now. But what makes Blackpink so special? There have been other groups with a girl crush concept and other groups with a hip-hop concept. What did Blackpink do that started this revolution? In 2011, a group called 21 released their hottest single ever called I Am the Best. The group was on fire to become one of the most successful girl groups of all time. By the end of their career, they had 700,000 sales, 43 music show wins, and 6 taesangs. 21's career had...
Those women are unimaginably gorgeous. Like, whoa.
To become one of the most successful girl groups of all time. By the end of their career, they had 700,000 sales, 43 music show wins, and 6 taesangs. 21's career had just begun to take off. In July of 2012, YG released a video called Future 21, and many fans interpreted this as YG getting ready to start a brand new girl group, despite 21 being brand new themselves, and they were right. The next month, YG released a video introducing a certain girl by the name of Jennie Kim. This would be the beginning of his fresh new girl group, Pink Punk. Yes, you heard me right, Pink Punk. So after a series of teasers, reveals, and rumors, it was speculated that Pink Punk would be a 9-member group. So who exactly were these 9 rumored members? A name you might be familiar with is Yoona Kim. You might recognize her from the girl group The Ark, and more recently the duo Con. She was also on the reality shows Superstar K3, Unpretty Rap Stars 3, and The Unit. Next is Park Jinhee, who finished 69th in Produce 48 and is now in the group Secret Number. Then we have soloists Jang Hana and Kim Eunbi. And lastly, Cheomyeon. Yes, that Myeon, main vocalist of G-Idol and Ari of KDA. Slowly one by one, these 5 members were removed from the group. Until May of 2016, 4 years after Pink Punk was introduced, we were left with these 4 names. Jennie Kim, main rapper, the face of the group, and the first revealed official member. Next we had Lalisa Manoban from Thailand. Lisa debuted as the main dancer and lead rapper of the group and was the first non-Korean idol ever of YG Entertainment. The next revealed member was Kim Jisoo, the visual and oldest member of the group, debuting at 21 years old. And the last member of the group to be revealed was Park Chae-young from Australia, more commonly known as Rose, the main vocalist. On June 28, 2016, YG finally revealed the name of the four-member group, BLACKPINK.
Okay, so I don't know if he's gonna go into this in this video, so I'm asking the questions as they come to me because I can't just anticipate what he's going to talk about. If he does end up talking about this, then sorry. A couple things. One, why were the first 5 girls removed? It sounded like quite a few of those girls ended up in other idol groups. One of them ended up in G-Idol and is Amari, and I've reacted to quite a bit of KDA stuff, so like I'm pretty familiar with her. Cool. I don't know if those other groups though are YG groups, and if they just decided to narrow the group down to a 4-member group to do the whole 21 generation 2, well, I guess generation 3 thing. You get my point. Volume 2, 21, because 21 had 4 members, they wanted to do 4 members with Pink Punk turned Blackpink, or if the other girls left for other reasons or whatever the case was. I don't know why they went from 9 to 4, but I anticipate that Blinks will know why, so I'm asking. Also, why the change of name from Pink Punk to Blackpink? Personally, I prefer the name Blackpink, not just because like that's what I'm used to, because that's what their name ended up being. I just like the name Blackpink. I think it works. And Pink Punk sounds like a punk group, and so unless they're making like pop punk inspired music, yeah, Blackpink sounds better to me. No shade to whoever came up with the original idea for Pink Punk, but yeah. Also, third thing, I said there was 2, but now there are 3. How long was Jennie a trainee if she was the first member introduced from Pink Punk, and then 4 whole years later she was also the first member introduced from Blackpink? Also, is she like the foundation that Blackpink was essentially built on? And what I mean by that is like with like BTS, for example, RM was the first member of what would go on to be BTS, and they kind of crafted the group around his skill set. And so I don't know if that's what they did here with Jennie. Like if they knew, okay, we have a main rapper, lead vocal talent here, we need to fill out these other positions via that, or if it just so happened that based off the members who are still in the group, they were assigned positions. I just want to know. I want more information. That's what I'm saying. There's a ton of possibilities, and I'm asking a ton of questions. So just inform your boy. I am trying to learn as much about the group as possible, hence I am watching this in the first place.
Commonly known as Rose, the main vocalist. On June 28, 2016, YG finally revealed the name of the 4-member group, Blackpink. And in just less than 2 months, Blackpink rocked the world with their duo singles Boombayah and Whistle. It was new, it was fresh, but also confident, cocky, and powerful, thus finally bringing Blackpink to your area. Both Boombayah and Whistle topped the charts. 14 days after debuting, they won their first music show award, the fastest a girl group had ever won a music show award after debuting. Just 3 months later, they released Playing with Fire and Stay, and later in the year, they won 5 Rookie of the Year awards.
블랙핑크.
In just 6 short months, Blackpink had already become a legendary group. Fast forward to June of 2018, with just only 5 songs, Blackpink was already the 2nd biggest girl group in K-pop. Then, they dropped a song by the name of Doo Doo Doo. Little did they know, and little did the world know, that this song would be the catalyst that propelled Blackpink into international stardom. It was an instant sensation and became the most viewed video in 24 hours in YouTube history, and eventually it became the most viewed K-pop group video of all time with 1.2 billion views. The song was addictive and the choreography was viral. It debuted at number 55 on the Billboard 100, which at the time was the highest charting K-pop song ever by a girl group. In fact, they were the first K-pop girl group to make the chart since Wonder Girls in 2009. Their first mini album Square Up sold 320,000 units on Count, and at the time became the 8th best-selling Korean album of all time for a girl group. Their presence eventually caught the eye of a certain British singer by the name of Dua Lipa. This would eventually spark a collab called Kiss and Make Up, which would once again chart on the Billboard 100. In October of 2018, BLACKPINK signed with Interscope Records, which is under a little company by the name of Universal Music Group, the biggest music company in the world. And it seemed like
I was about to say, I really hope that's sarcasm, because there are few companies on earth that are bigger than Universal. So when he was like, a little company by the name, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. But it was a joke. It was in jest. I just had to inform you guys. Like how in Korea they have the big three, or I guess now the big four. There's a similar phenomenon in the US. Just the companies are way bigger because the US is way bigger. And Universal is the SM, so to speak, of those three companies being Universal, Warner, and Sony, which I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of those companies. So yeah, they have subsidiary labels like Interscope that are bigger than most other labels in the world, and they have headquarters in a bunch of different countries. I know that in Korea specifically, they also, especially as K-pop has started to take off and the music industry has started to realize how talented Korean musicians are, they also have subsidiary labels in Korea as well. So that's really cool. I'm interested in how that went, though, like how they got to the point of being signed to Interscope. And I would also just like to nerd out and like read the contract on how it works, that they're signed to obviously YG, but also Interscope, which so far as I know have no relation outside of, well, BLACKPINK. So yeah, very interesting.
In October of 2018, BLACKPINK signed with Interscope Records, which is under a little company by the name of Universal Music Group, the biggest music company in the world. And it seemed like BLACKPINK was everywhere. They made appearances on the talk shows The Late Night Show with Stephen Colbert and Good Morning America. Then in March of 2019, they became the first K-pop girl group to ever grace the cover of Billboard magazine. Later that year, they embarked on their In Your Area World Tour, which would eventually become the most successful world tour by a girl group of all time, grossing $37 million. Their single Kill This Love dropped on April 5th, 2019, once again breaking the record for the highest charting K-pop girl group song, charting at 41. Their album Kill This Love would garner 380,000 sales in Gaon, becoming the 7th best-selling girl group album of all time. On April 12th, BLACKPINK went on to become the first K-pop girl group to ever perform at the Super Music Festival, Coachella. On April 22nd of 2020, BLACKPINK collaborated with Lady Gaga to release the single Sour Candy. This would once again break the record for the highest charting K-pop girl group song, charting at number 33. On June 26th, BLACKPINK released their long-awaited single, How You Like That, and would go on to break 5 Guinness World Records, including the most viewed YouTube video ever in 24 hours with 86.3 million views. Just 8 hours later, the video went on to become the fastest video of all time to hit 100 million views. 6 days later, it broke 200 million views, the fastest video of all time to reach it, which leads us to today, August 28th, BLACKPINK's newest single with none other than Selena Gomez. Everything that BLACKPINK touches turns to gold, and there is no doubt that this next single will continue to elevate BLACKPINK to the zenith of K-pop history.
A newcomer or even a veteran to K-pop will know after the first seconds of watching or listening to BLACKPINK, immediately they'll get hit with that doo-doo-doo-doo. This group is different. There's a certain power and energy that emanates from BLACKPINK's music and image. To reiterate the earlier question, other girl groups have done the girl crush concept like 21 or 4 Minute. There have been other groups with the hip-hop concept. Remember Evil? Remember Glam? Those groups have not even come close to what BLACKPINK has achieved in 4 short years. What is their secret? How do they make the masses whistle like a missile?
In 1998, K-pop was still in its early infancy. This new exciting generation of music gave birth to some groups like SES with their vibrant love songs, Finkel with their cute, energetic, sporty concepts, and last was a group by the name of Baby Vox. They combined elements of Western hip-hop with the brand new energetic K-pop, the original Girl Crush.
I kept hearing girl crush over and over and over, like that phrase, and I was really trying to figure out what it meant. I was assuming that it meant really like a group full of visuals, you know, really pretty girls who you would have a crush on. Like, okay, it makes sense to someone who doesn't know what girl crush means, okay? Like, don't be roasting me and judging me in the comments, okay? But based off her saying other groups have done girl crush before and then brought up groups that weren't focused solely on tougher kind of vibe, I was like, wait, hold on, I'm probably misunderstanding this. But with what he just said, now I'm guessing that it's more of like a hard, which is it's so weird to my brain because girl crush sounds soft and cute, right? But I guess it means the opposite of that, not to imply that any of these groups aren't cute, but you get what I mean. It's not like a bubblegum pop concept, even though the phrase girl crush makes my brain think that it would be. Anyway, they look cool. This looks like a TLC video. He said it was inspired, at least in part, by Western hip hop. I don't know the specific groups, but I feel like TLC was probably one of them, right? I don't know the timeline on this, so this could have been before TLC, but it's got big TLC vibes.
This was a group by the name of Baby Vox. They combined elements of Western hip-hop with the brand new energetic K-pop, the original Girl Crush. Together, these three groups dominated the radio waves. Sound familiar? How about now? Oh wait, there we go. After the first generation of K-pop came in now.
Okay, the one in the middle is Twice, right? Who's on top? 5-member girl group. Is that ITZY? Was I've out in whatever year this came out? I don't know, guys. I'm not well versed in girl group K-pop, so I don't know. Just be happy that I know that that's Twice, even though I've never reacted to Twice. And I only know that that's Twice because my best friend is literally in love with like 4 members from that group and will not shut up about me needing to react to them, which now that I'm saying this will probably continue and also now be echoed by the comment section. But yeah, who's that top group? My guess is ITZY, but I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I've just only read their name like in text, so I've never actually heard someone say it. Anyway, point is, I think it's cool that each generation kind of has like a big 3 of groups that dominate. Super cool.
With the brand new energetic K-pop, the original Girl Crush. Together, these 3 groups dominated the radio waves. Sound familiar? How about now? Oh wait.
I also want to know these groups. I know the bottom one is 21, obviously, but give me the middle one and the top one. Also, that's really weird. Like the member amount, wow. Did the labels all just be like, hey, this is cool, let's do it again, hit the copy button? Is this not weird to you guys? That was like 5-member group, 5-member group, a bunch of member group, a bunch of member group, 4-member group, 4-member group. No, I'm probably gonna get dragged for saying that, but that's it. It's very interesting to my brain that it just kind of, you know, history repeating itself.
How about now? Oh wait, there we go. After the first generation of K-pop came and went, another hip-hop group was breaking records left and right. #21. Expanding on the empire that Baby Vox built, they added another layer of badassery and rebellious nature to their songs. 21 was changing the K-pop industry. And finally, in 2016, enter player 3, BLACKPINK, who was almost a carbon copy of 21. In fact, YG himself stated that BLACKPINK was meant to be a copy-paste of 21. He did not want BLACKPINK to be any different.
See, okay, so don't drag me for my copier joke. That's your boss. He said the same thing. That was the whole point. So, joke is not offensive. Cool.
different at all, saying, "I tried to make the YG version of a girl group like I did with 21, but this time I wanted the girls to look pretty too." Just like how 21 built their foundation.
Okay, that's kind of rude to 21, who I think looks very pretty. Maybe not so much in the scene with like the gun and the mohawk, but like the rest of the time they look good. Like you don't have to like kind of shade them like that. Maybe they fell out. Did they fall out? Is that what happened? Is that why he just kind of... I mean, I'm not saying that he said that they were ugly, but I'm not saying that he said that they were ugly. Like Blackpink looks great, so I can't really deny that point. I just don't know that you have to tear one down to build up the other. I'm defending a group that I've never really listened to before, just on principle, because I dislike labels and label executives. So,
Foundation on Baby Fox's concept, Blackpink was once again evolving the concept of 21. So what exactly is the Blackpink concept? Blackpink is the energetic hook and the exotic beats hitting your eardrums, the thumping bass and the blaring air horns, the combination of swag, hip-hop, badassery, and fire, a little bit of sexiness, a touch of glamour, and a hint of female empowerment, the mix of dark black ferocity, and a dash of bright pink pop sound. Jennie's power, Jisoo's saccharine sound, Rose's alluring vocals, and Lisa's lethal raps. This is the Blackpink sound. Blackpink is not the first girl group to do a girl crush concept, and they certainly won't be the last, but they are the greatest of all time to do it. Now, as much as we praise the girls of Blackpink, Blackpink is so much more than just the girls themselves. There's a team of executives, of administrators, a team that makes music, a team that makes wardrobe, a team that choreographs, and of course, a team that makes big marketing decisions. Now, any great company or organization needs to have a solid marketing team and great brand image. But what exactly does brand image mean? Simply put, it's the customer's perception of a brand. What does a customer think when they see your brand? A perfect example is Apple. You see Apple and you already know what they're about. They're sleek, they're futuristic, they're high-tech, they're clean. You see Nike, you think sports, speed, strength, inspiration.
Just for the record, as someone who dual majored not only in music production but also in international business, all of my business teachers hated Apple, like the branding that was Apple, because it was just thrown together. There wasn't a lot of thought that was put into it. The entire concept of Apple, the logo, the Macintosh computer, all of it was like very spur of the moment because those were coders, not branding, marketing experts. They just made the most of it as their products were really good and some other shady business things. But I really like that he's going into the other side, the business side of the music business. I'm all for that. I just think that Apple's a really bad example of that based off everything I know about marketing and branding. But with that being said, it clearly has not hindered their business model. So yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. But Nike is a much better example of the concept that he is trying to put forward for a ton of reasons, even down to the name. I mean, Nike was the Greek goddess of victory. Like, that tells you. So if you know anything about Greek mythology, like, that already is kind of putting a sense of power and competitiveness, but again, victory in your mind. That is good branding.
Clean. You see Nike, you think sports, speed, strength, inspiration. Now that is brand image. Out of all the groups in K-pop, Blackpink has the strongest brand image. There's a saying in marketing, if you confuse, you lose. Meaning if the consumer doesn't know what your product or service is about, you'll lose them. But one look at Blackpink, you don't even have to listen to their music, and you know what this group is about. You understand their image, their concept, their music. You, the consumer, already know all this way before Lisa even whispers Blackpink in your area. They're fierce, powerful, glamorous, they're hip-hop, they're girl crush. YG has carefully crafted Blackpink's image from the sound of their music to the color of their hair. We already discussed their music concept, but there's also the costume, the facial gestures, the makeup, the merch, the light stick, the teasers, the set, and props. Even who they interact with and the events they attend, are all part of their brand image. As a result, Blackpink only attends VIP prominent events, and they rarely attend events with other idols like music shows or even the ISACs. YG has been infamous for this in the past, wanting his groups to appear exclusive, or as some haters would say, YG wants Blackpink to appear as they're better than the other groups. And there may be some truth to that. Blackpink wasn't meant to be like the other groups. Right from the start, when he built this group, YG was aiming for something bigger than just Korea. He wanted to dominate the whole entire world. Blackpink was built with that specific purpose in mind, built specifically.
It's a chart. You guys already know I was going to stop and read it. Interesting. Also, I gotta respect. I don't know YG, even though I already dislike him for the fact that he is a label executive, and I have never in my life come across or heard of a label executive who wasn't a terrible person. I mean, he could be the first, but I doubt it. I'm cynical by nature, so I'm not going to be holding my breath. But I respect the vision, like the intention of creating something with the vision of it being great, with the vision of it being the best, and then succeeding at that. He did it. Like, based off all the accolades in the beginning of the video. I mean, they're girl crushing it. Okay, I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not. Dad jokes for the win. Let's go.
As the group that would target the Western audience and preferences. Precisely why this group was picked with 3 fluent English speakers, 2 Japanese speakers with the other 2 learning, and 2 speakers with basic Mandarin. This is to target the 2 biggest markets in the world and the most populated country in the world. The group is one of the most skilled multilingual speaking groups in the industry. Lisa, at this point, is a walking Google Translate app.
세 개. 3개 국어. 4지 4. 어머. 4? 응. 뭐야?
This next big marketing move.
Okay, just real quick. So he said that Lisa speaks 5 languages. I know she said 3 and then Jisoo said 4, but she speaks or is actively learning 5 languages: Thai, Korean, English, Japanese, and Mandarin. That's not only insane, just by any metric. Yes, I know Europeans, you guys speak multiple languages all the time. I'm not coming from the American perspective of 2 languages impressive. What I'm coming from is not only is 5 languages a lot, she's a full polyglot, but some of those languages are some of the hardest languages on earth. Specifically, Mandarin and Japanese are like within the top 10 most difficult languages to learn, period. And as someone who is interested in other cultures and other languages, like I'm floored that even one of them, let alone multiple of them, can speak even one of those languages, let alone multiple of those languages, especially not being a native speaker of that language, because obviously it's much easier to know a hard language when you grow up around it versus when you are learning it or being taught it. So yeah, a lot of big brains in this group, and I respect that.
This next big marketing move will be referred to as the "as if it's your last" strategy. When Blackpink debuted in 2016, they had 2 singles, then just 3 short months later they came back with the singles Playing With Fire and Stay. And fans were excited because it seemed like the group was consistently coming out with new music. Then 7 months later, in June of 2017, As If It's Your Last hit the deck like pam pam pam. It was an exciting single with bright aesthetics and a hot beat, but that's all it was, a single. No album, no B-sides. The name As If It's Your Last was truly a fitting name for Blackpink because it felt like, well, it was their last single. And for the next year, the airwaves were silent. The fans were furious, annoyed, dejected, but most importantly, they were hungry.
A lot of you guys are asking for our comeback. It's hard to ignore because it hurts my feelings just to read them and just ignore. I'm not ignoring, guys, it's just that we are not too sure, so I'm sorry. Don't give up, guys. Let's not give up, both of us.
The fans thirsted for any piece of Blackpink content they could find their hands on. Rumors, mashups, fan art, YouTube theories, the reality TV show Blackpink House. Finally, in June 2018, the famine was doubling Blackpink's entire discography from 5 to 9 songs. And immediately,
The heck? Did the video just skip forward?
June 2018, the famine was doubling Blackpink's entire discography from 5 to 9 songs. And immediately, Blackpink knocked that and got another banger. As mentioned earlier, Doo became the most viewed video in 24 hours in YouTube history, and eventually became the most viewed K-pop group video of all time with 1.2 billion views. So it seemed like
I feel bad for them because you could tell that Jennie was like sad, not just from the comments from the fans, but also based off the fact that, like, obviously as an idol, you don't expect to not release that often. I mean, idols release like at a ridiculous rate anyway, so like they could slow down a little bit, take a little bit of a break, but the lack of releases clearly was impacting her at that time. Hopefully she is feeling better now, but as crazy as this sounds, I almost feel like if Doo didn't do so well, they would have more releases because YG's experiment would have failed, and so he would have had to up the output to continue the momentum. But because he experimented to do like the diamond thing, like the false scarcity where you hold back the supply to increase the demand and therefore the profit margins on every single individual unit. Look at me talking like a business major. Anyway, because he did that and it worked, now he has no reason not to. And so even though they just had a comeback, I'm talking like they haven't released any music since this video came out, but even though they just had a comeback, I've still, in my short time being around Blinks, heard frustration from you guys about the lack in quantity of music. Now, some people are all for quality over quantity, which I get, but some people would like both. And I just want them to be happy. And seeing Jennie sad there made me sad. Yeah, anyway, hopefully they're doing better with the process. They're more used to it. They're more okay. I know that they're still working. They're still doing a lot of stuff, you know, modeling and that kind of thing. But when you're a musician and you love music, you want to make music. So I'm not going to lie to you guys and act like I'm just super okay with the idea of artists being artificially held back at the expense of potentially those artists' mental emotional health just because it was commercially successful. Obviously, my issue is not with Blackpink themselves, but I'm sure some people are going to be upset about this, but it's the truth. I want artists to have the creative freedom to create as they please, and however much or little that is, that's kind of how I feel. But I can't really fault YG given it worked.
Video of all time with 1.2 billion views. So it seemed like YG's strategy had worked. Here I have outlined a 100% foolproof YG plan. Step 1, starve the fans for a year. Step 2, tease them a little. Give them a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Step 3, release. Drop the single that's too hot to handle. And the last step is dominate the charts. Kill them and stack up my millions. Now, this is a risky strategy, but in economics, this is called the scarcity principle. If there is very little of a product, in other words, if a product or service is scarce, more people will deem it to be of high quality, driving up demand. How many times have you seen advertisements that say limited time offer or while supplies last? Scarcity creates demand. People want what they can't have. K-pop fans hate it, but it really is a genius move. Other K-pop groups wouldn't be able to pull it off. K-pop groups depend on constant promotions and comebacks to create brand awareness. But Blackpink's brand awareness stats are already maxed out at level 99. There isn't a K-pop fan alive who doesn't know who Blackpink is, so they're able to use this method to build demand. Additionally, YG built Blackpink with the intention of expanding globally, specifically westward. I know for K-pop fans, a year break is a long time, but for Western standards, a year would actually be considered a very fast comeback. Ed Sheeran usually has a 2 to 3 year break in between his albums. Pharrell hasn't released an album since 2014.
Okay, so not to critique this guy's video, because this is actually a really quality video, but I am here for a reason, and you guys are watching this video for a reason. So I'm going to input and interject any comments, thoughts, and things that I have. So this is not necessarily true. First off, Pharrell is a terrible example because Pharrell is an artist technically, but first and foremost, Pharrell is a super producer. So when you say Pharrell hasn't had an album in 5 years, that's not true. Pharrell hasn't had an album in 5 years as the lead artist. But what he's been doing in the meantime is working with the Neptunes, producing a Jay-Z album, producing a Rihanna album, producing, like, he's still working. Not to mention the fact that he is on, like, those singing competition shows, judging, depending on, like, the time frame and things of that nature. So it's missing context, so to speak. And with the Ed Sheeran album, Western pop stars in general, the cycle that they're on is usually a 2-year cycle, and 2.5 depending on the artist. And the reason for that is not because they're being held back due to the scarcity principle, although that does happen some in the Western world, and we'll touch on that in a second. What is usually happening is that in there, they are doing other things related to the album. So what the K-pop industry would call promotions and touring, the Western world does as well. It's global. So it's start from the creation process. He'll work on an album for 6 months. Then he will send the album to the label for it to be mixed and mastered, so on and so forth. That takes a little while. Then they have to churn out all of the, advertising and marketing stuff. Release date is announced. The album cover is dropped. Track list is dropped. The single comes out. Album comes out. In there, music is still happening for half of it, where singles are being released. Then, when the album comes out, now it's world tour time. And they're on tour for a year. So 6 months of album time. So 6 months of album creation time. Then 6 months of single album. You're on tour for a year. You get home, you get a 2-week break, and now you're back to creating the album. So even though it feels like, to us as fans, it's been 2 years since we heard the newest Ed Sheeran thing, it hasn't been 2 years since Ed Sheeran has been doing music-related content because, he was in Jakarta, and then he was in Sao Paulo, and then he was in LA, and then that whole time he's been doing music stuff via touring and or creating and then releasing songs. To us, if he wasn't in our city, we haven't heard from him in 2 years, but realistically, he's still been doing music-related content versus what I think I'm getting from the whole BLACKPINK situation is that they literally don't have them do music-related stuff for a specific time period where they have them model or act or do brand deals or like anything not music-related for an extended amount of time, specifically to create that feeling of, as he put it, famine, or that feeling of scarcity. And so that's not really what Western artists are doing. We also do the whole, let's go to all these different TV shows and interviews and radio places and whatever to like promote the album. And really, you could argue that from the label perspective, a tour is just a further promotion of the album anyway, because people are more likely to buy an album in anticipation of seeing an artist in their area because they want to know all the songs and so on and so forth. But most artists aren't just not making music for extended periods of time, even when to us as the consumer, it feels like it's been 3 years since I had the latest Metallica album. Yeah, but Metallica has been on tour for 1.5 years. And then after that, they took a small break so they could spend time with their families. And then they went back to creating the album. It wasn't single, a year of nothing as in not working on music, single, a year of nothing, 2 singles, a year of nothing. Like, do you get what I'm saying? It's a different kind of process, even though the overall time frame is relatively the same.
Standards, a year would actually be considered a very fast comeback. Ed Sheeran usually has a 2 to 3 year break in between his albums. Pharrell hasn't released an album since 2014. Queen is still active and performing and going on tours, but they haven't released new music for 24 years. So with that perspective,
that's another not great example. I already talked a long time on the last pause. I'm not going to continue to beat that dead horse. I get what he's saying in that just off the length of time, it is not a crazy amount of time to a Western artist as far as their release schedule. But in most of these cases, it is not the scarcity principle being used that causes that length of time.
tours, but they haven't released new music for 24 years. So with that perspective in mind, is 1 year really that long?
Awesome screen, awesome camera, long lasting battery life.
Music, choreography, a great marketing team, those are all great things to have. But what really draws people to Blackpink are the heroines of Blackpink themselves. Park Chae-young, Lalisa Manoban, Kim Jisoo, and Jennie Kim. Whether it be their charm, their personality, their story, or their amazing talent, there is something about each of them that makes a fan want to follow them, devote their life, or possibly even worship them. Lisa was born in 1997 with the name Pranpriya Manoban in Thailand. Early in her childhood, she met with a fortune teller who said she should change her name to Lalisa, as this name would bring her immense luck. And what does Lalisa actually mean? Translation: the one who is praised. Fast forward to
You guys told me this in the comment section of the Lisa song, and I think that that's so cool because, like, literally, the prophecy has come to fruition.
a decade later, and the name could not be more true. She is the most popular global idol in the world by a huge margin. On Instagram, she has 38 million followers, making her the 90th most followed account in the world. Of the top 100 accounts, she had the most engagement, with 21% of her audience engaging with Lisa. For comparison, the top 5 accounts, the official Instagram account, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ariana Grande, The Rock, and Kylie Jenner, have an engagement of 1.55%. In 2019, she was the most searched and trending idol according to Google. Her star power was such that even her legs alone went viral all over the world, with people like Stephen Colbert, James Corden, Lil Nas, and thousands of others parodying the meme. People love Lisa. People want to be Lisa. People praise Lisa. What is it about Lisa that draws people to her? Look at you, now look at her. Well, first and foremost, she is the pinnacle of dancing prowess in the industry. She was able to beat out thousands of other hopefuls in Thailand at the 2010 YG auditions because she was the best dancer and best performer by miles and miles.
She can be very, very sexy and very, very cute. She has perfect control of her body. She can take a move that would look awkward on anybody and make it look amazing. You watch her and all you want to do is dance.
When she dances, you can see that she has flame in her veins. Her dance is like crack. Every day she's styling, killing everything in her way. She's wild, and not only that, Lisa just has such a lovable personality. She's funny, she's cute, she's cheerful. She's just a ball of sunshine and optimism. You can be sure that she'll be kicking down the door to everyone's heart in your area. Rose was born in 1997 in Auckland, New Zealand as Park Chae-young. She later moved to Melbourne, Australia when she was 7 and spent most of her life there. Originally, Rose did not believe that becoming a K-pop idol was in the cards for her, but her father encouraged her to follow her dreams.
Did you audition for YG in Australia?
Yes, like literally like just an open audition.
Why'd you do it?
Because my dad told me to.
Rose stated, in Australia, I didn't think that there was much of a chance for me to become a singer, especially to become a K-pop star. I was living so far from the country that it never really occurred to me as a possibility. And from day one, Rose was noted for her amazing golden vocals. In the 2012 auditions at Sydney, she beat out 700 other hopefuls, placing first. Because of her unique voice as a 16-year-old, she was placed on a track called Without You, with the biggest name in K-pop at the time, G-Dragon. Since then, of course, she's debuted with Blackpink, captivating not only
Big Bang, are they a YG group? I feel like yes. Anyway, that's crazy. Beating out thousands of other dancers, super impressive. Beating out 700 other vocalists, super impressive. That's monstrous. So shouts out to them. I mean, obviously, if they were able to debut, the entire process of debuting it's a super long tournament of death matches between you and other trainees who all are very talented, all have the same dream, but still, that's crazy. Like, that's super impressive.
G-Dragon. Since then, of course, she's debuted with BLACKPINK, captivating not only with her prominent singing, but with her sweet charm, kind heart, and innocent wholesomeness.
All the times that you rain my parade, and all the clubs you get in using my name. Find a man like you got me twisted. You must not know about me, you must not know about me. I'm officially missing you.
And then there's Kim Jisoo. All it takes is one glance, and immediately you're hit with her immaculate visuals, and you're not alone. That's what the talent scouts at YG noticed about Jisoo. Recognized as being one of the greatest visuals in K-pop today, she's a model for Kiss Me, Cartier, Burberry, and of course, one of Dior's muses. You wouldn't have guessed it by a first glance, but Jisoo is actually the comic relief of the group. In terms of variety skills and humor, Jisoo is easily the best in the group. She's wacky, funny, and eccentric. In Korea, she's what's referred to as having a 40 personality. She's a complete goofball, which is what most fans love about her. Whether it's just being a complete jokester, prankster, or balancing bottles, what's certain is that she won't be leaving fans bored.
Yahoo! My heart so bounce, okay?
And lastly, of course, is Jennie Kim. Many people are calling her the queen of K-pop, despite debuting just 4 years ago. Ever since she was revealed as a trainee back in 2012, she has been making waves. It seemed like even as a trainee, Jennie was destined for greatness, making her first MV appearance in 2012 as a 16-year-old in G-Dragon's XX, and then even joining him on stage later for Black Black. She was easily the most popular female idol in Korea of 2019, topping the brand rankings. She earned first place 6 out of the 12 months. Recently, her solo song, fittingly named Solo, was a monster hit, becoming the most viewed music video by a female artist with 500 million views. Many people who know her personally describe her as being charming and sweet. On screen, she appears to be this fierce, powerful, bulletproof diva, but in real life, she's actually a sweet softie.
I think it's very interesting that all of them have been described as like sweet and soft and cute and lovable, which is not usually the case in a group. I don't know them personally. I can't say that that is not true. I'm just saying in most groups, they're not all cute and sweet and soft. Like, usually someone in there is not cute and sweet and soft. I'll just put it that way. So that's very interesting. I don't know if that was a part of the criteria in choosing the members, to make sure that they all had very lovable, not as in like fans loving them, but lovable as in like them being able to love each other. Having very sweet personalities makes it less likely that you're going to butt heads with another bandmate, which makes it less likely that your band is going to in turn be less successful, and so something of note.
But in real life, she's actually a sweet softie.
이거 다리에 손 나올 것 같아.
아니면 내가 먼저 할게, 내가 먼저.
아니야, 누구야? 어떡해. And Happy New
제가 다 봤어요.
나 진짜.
어떻게 사람이 이렇게 놀랄까? 너무
나
놀라.
살면서 내가 본 사람 중에 제일 겁쟁이에요. 나
And is the poster child of badass, of girl crush, of ferocity. She is the princess of YG, the human Chanel, the it girl of Korea. The person everyone loves to hate. Some look at her with envy, while others look at her with admiration. Some people hate her, many people love her, but everybody knows her. And together, they become the most powerful and the most hyped girl group in K-pop history. The world is theirs for the taking. Everywhere they show up, blows up. Currently, YG is sitting on the biggest gold mine in K-pop history. Their potential is limitless. YG just needs to play his cards right, and currently, he has a royal flush. But he actually needs to play them and let the girls of Blackpink shine. Blackpink recently hit their 4-year anniversary a couple days ago, and to date, they've only had 17 songs. And I know that's frustrating for a lot of Blinks who are just done with waiting. I know you gotta be tired, and when the night gets dark, let them be your fire.
Last little thought. The music in this video has been spectacular. Like whoever decided to do the I don't even know what the soundtrack for this. I don't know what to call it. Whatever. It sounds really, really good. So shout out to them for that. Whoa.
See you later, boy.
Was not prepared for Jimin's abs to just pop up on screen at all. That was whoa. Okay, so that was long, but that was way better than the last information video that I reacted to. So much more informative, and I love all of the different aspects that they touched on in that video, from the marketing to the branding to their release schedule to them as people and their history as a group, as well as their history as trainees. It's very, very good video. So shouts out to Asian Theory. I don't remember the name of that channel, but I will in the comment section. I'll say it. But yeah, they did a very good job. I of course needed to talk about some gripes that I had, but overall the video was amazing and very informative. I really enjoyed getting to know them as a group. I am very fascinated in the questions that this video poses and then answers, like why are insert group or artist or actor or whoever so successful in their particular field, what makes them stand out, what makes them different. And I think this video did a very good job of explaining that. And so thank you to the people who were a part of creating this video. Thank you to you guys for watching this video and requesting this video for me to watch. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or any other information that you would like to give me, leave that in the comment section down below. And in the meantime, I'll be seeing all of you guys here on the channel next time. Have a great day.